Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Mortal Kombat video. Now today, coming off the surprise reveal of Megan Fox's casting as Nitara, Nether Realm has also decided to drop on us all some official details regarding her character bio. Originally, I didn't actually plan on doing a deep dive video that breaks down this trailer, as it does strongly focus around Megan Fox. But after a bit of time to actually sit down and review this trailer, I've actually managed to pick up on a few things that have ever so briefly appeared that you may have otherwise missed during its extremely quick cut feature, as it's only a few milliseconds that show off key details that paint the story in a very different light. Also, the trailer does purposely attempt to hide them, thus I will be pointing out what we do see here. But to paint a better picture of what exactly is going on, first let's cover Nitara's character bio, talk about the alterations to her origin within this all-new continuity, how it influences what we see in the trailer, and of course, most importantly, what some of you may have missed out here, the inclusion of Quan Chi. So with that said, quick reminder that if you like what we do here and wish to see more, please do not forget to subscribe, as well as give this video a thumbs up to stay up to date with everything lore related here, especially seeing as we're less than a week away now. So, with all of that accounted for, let's begin by covering Nitara, with her bio saying the following. Nitara's race of vampires hail from the dark and desolate realm of Eternus. To survive, they evolved the ability to feed on the blood of other creatures. The Vaeternians thrived, building a great society, but as their comfort grew, so did their short-sightedness. They overfed on Vaeternus' creatures. Disrupting the natural order, they now starve as it collapses. It is Nitara's solemn obligation to deliver her people from hunger and save her race. Vaeternus must survive. So from what you can tell, what we have here is more or less a completely new origin for the realm of Vaeternus. And whilst previously it was integral to Nitara's character, we never actually saw or really heard much of Vaeternus, as its details are still scarce to this very day, with the only lingering remnants post its merge with Outworld being Nitara herself, as well as the Datusha blade. But now we exist in an era where Shao is relieved of the Khan role, thus Vaeternus is never merged with Outworld. We are in a very unique situation where the realm exists but no longer thrives, despite its own freedom, as it was their gluttonous comfort that led to their downfall, leaving it barren of life and a way for them to survive. So now, in this new universe, instead of looking for an orb that would free her home, she must now instead look for a way to save her people from their gluttonous and ravenous behavior. How, however, is where things get quite interesting, but we will touch on that at the end of the video. Moving on to the trailer itself, we do get a bit of exposition from Megan Fox that kind of glosses over the character's backstory. But I do want to point out and note how basically she says that Nitara is a villain with a heart, showing that whilst she may be working for the wrong people, she does it out of love for her home. But who is she working for? Because during an intro here, I do believe that it in fact implies that she isn't actually with General Shao or Outworld's army.
You Outworlders believe yourselves so superior.
As you see, so far, we do have about 4 established factions from the different trailers. The Lin Kuei, Liu Kang's Chosen, Outworld's Royal Line, and General Shao's rebellious regime. And I think that this trailer in particular introduces us all to a 5th faction, one that has been sneakily snuck away through some of the other trailers. And I believe it to be led by Quan Chi, someone who I did initially miss during my breakdown of the Banished trailer, showing that there is far more going on here than I had previously conceived. As to why he is here, well, that's a conversation in itself, as it's very possible that our first actual exposure to the Necromancer dates as far back as the Lin Kuei trailer.
The Lin Kuei, we have been expecting you.
But before diving into that deep end, let's go back to Nitara first and cover what we know of her. So first things first, during the opening of the trailer, we do see Nitara attack Smoke as the Lin Kuei storm a Shao-guarded stronghold, in turn implying that maybe an alliance has been made between Quan and Shao, or that maybe the Lin Kuei and Quan are both looking for the same thing, as we do of course get the line I mentioned earlier, which then makes sense and ties into the group of reanimated Dragon King soldiers who do charge at Scorpion, and judging by their illuminescent green glow, I believe that it is Quan Chi that has played a part in their resurrection. It also explains why only a handful of them have been awoken, and not all of them, as whilst the Necromancer is indeed very strong, I do not believe he is quite capable of raising an entire army, at least not yet. Our next shot of Nitara here is her feeding on a victim by tearing his neck open. Now, to the average eye, this is a nobody, but once the footage is slowed down, we can in fact see that this is Geras at the Wuxi Academy, as we can see cherry blossoms in the backdrop. So it looks like at some point, Nitara, alongside her allies, do storm the White Lotus Academy and lay siege to it, as we do see the remnants of it in the Banished trailer. So Geras here may have been its only means of protection in his ultimately failed efforts. Moving on, we do see the reignited feud between Nitara and Ashura, but as they trade blows, we do actually see Quan Chi in the background, casting what looks to be a very powerful spell. As for what it is, I'm not entirely sure, but if I'm stitching together the trailer, then maybe Quan Chi and his allies have been looking for this mysterious red shard, as it does look like she hands it over, which may be what he's using to cast his spell. As for what said shard is, again, that's currently unknown, but I think the outcome of this spell is what leads to the Living Forest exploding into what is now known as the Corrupted Forest, something we do see in the Banished trailer. There is another shot later on showing Nitara holding her arm, maybe implying that she lost to Ashura and barely slips away. But how does this all fit with Quan Chi? Well, if I am to create a hypothesis, I believe that in the fall of Vaeternus, Nitara is forced to create an alliance with Quan Chi in the hopes of saving her people. This leads to her inevitable clash against the Lin Kuei, where they then presumably join Quan Chi, or Shao, or possibly both. But what is the ulterior endgame? Well, that is still the big mystery right now. However, I also think this is where Onaga comes into play. If Quan and Shao are indeed working together, and the undead army is in play, then I do think that Quan may be the key to resurrecting not just Onaga, but also his army. In fact, we already know that this backdrop is going to be a stage. But how does this all relate to the Living Forest? Well, it's kind of in its name here. As you see, those that die in the forest are consumed by its mystical nature and bound by its roots, forever cursed to exist in the woods. Thus, I think that Quan is looking to harvest the damned souls in the trees as a way to revive Onaga's dragon army. As for Onaga himself, they may also be using it to bring him back, or maybe the entire Onaga side of things simply falls into the hands of Shang Tsung, as I still do believe that the Chronicle we see here is simply but a mirage cast by him, much like the Mushi from Deception. So in theory, this game could be an interesting blend of elements from both Deadly Alliance and Deception, with Quan Chi handling more of the Deadly Alliance arc, reviving the Dragon King's army, while Shang himself is unknowingly plotting his return. So it's kind of a blend of ideas here that I definitely see working, and considering how many 3D era characters we have, it does make a lot of sense why there is a heavy emphasis on them in this game. I mean, hell, even Darius briefly features in the Nitara trailer, just kinda lingering behind her wing. It's a really nice inclusion that I don't think many of us had suspected. But even with that said, that was everything I was able to pull away from this trailer. So, what are your current thoughts on this so far? Especially with Quan Chi playing more of an important role than we had previously expected. Please do comments down below. Also, what do you believe is going on narratively? And of course, what do you think of Nitara's new origin? I'd love to hear your opinions down below. But for now everyone, that has been it for me. So as always, stay strong, stay well, and keep on fighting. Take care everyone, I'll see you all soon.